Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sam Liggero, and I'm a professor at Tufts Gordon Institute. I would like to thank the iGaming Next organization for inviting me to share a few thoughts on leadership as we all strive to learn and grow on this change adventure that has engaged the entire globe. The format I will use will parallel a 15-minute or so fireside chat or dinner party conversation rather than a formal lecture with slides. By way of background, I have been in leadership roles for most of my career and will try to distill for you several overarching principles about leadership to set a context. And I will offer a framework with specific actions that I have found helpful when leading in times of ambiguity and change, just like today and the foreseeable future. These principles and actions can be applied to yourself, regardless of your position, and/or can serve as criteria to apply when hiring internal or external candidates for your leadership positions in your enterprise. Our goal at Tufts Gordon Institute is to inspire and create a worldwide community of transformative leaders with heart in technology-driven industries, just like the iGaming industry. Transformative means high impact, step changes to your business, or more broadly, to society. Leaders with heart are those who inspire, who persuade and lead others with deep empathy and compassion for all. And when I say inspire and create, this means one's leadership is characterized by incisive curiosity, a bias to action, and an eagerness to experiment and take measured risks. Someone who will constantly challenge the status quo with the objective to continuously improve it. So, what traits or characteristics have I developed in my years as a leader, and what do I look for in aspiring leaders? There are three overarching leadership traits that are central to success. They are technical acumen, business acumen, and emotional intelligence. Now, by technical acumen, I expect leaders to have a broad familiarity with technologies that drive or will drive their company and industry. I don't expect leaders to be technology subject matter experts, although this would be an added benefit. I do expect leaders to surround themselves or have access to technology subject matter experts. So why is this important? Well, the world is increasingly technology driven, and so is your industry, I believe. Also, many of the technologies that drive your industry, such as artificial intelligence, data analytics, chip processing power, game design, user interfaces, cybersecurity, currency exchange processes, 5G internet speeds, to name a few, are changing exponentially. And leaders at all levels have to stay a step ahead of the competition to remain competitive. This is demanding when change is exponential and not linear. So let me explain what I mean by exponential change. Consider a hypothetical condition where it's January 1st and I have a 13-year-old daughter, let's say her name is Rebecca, and I'm trying to incentivize her to keep her room clean. So I approach Rebecca and I say, hey, Mom and I are proposing to pay you $1 if you keep your room clean today. And if you keep it clean tomorrow, we're going to give you $2. And if you keep it clean on day 3, we're going to give you $4, doubling your incentive for every day you keep your room clean. Guess what? By January 20th, we owe Rebecca over $1 million. And by January 31st, we owe her over $1 billion. Such is the insidious nature of exponential change. The early changes are barely perceptible until an inflection point is met, and then the changes are dramatic. This is what is happening to many technologies, including those that directly impact your industry. Leaders at all levels have to anticipate technological change and deal with it. This is why technical acumen must be embraced by today's leaders. Now, by business acumen, I expect leaders to have a deep understanding of customer needs, what behaviors drive those needs, and how well their teams are meeting and exceeding those customer needs. The leader is in a world where the only constant is change and must be able to articulate a winning business model and be prepared to change it as dictated by market conditions, including customer needs, product service portfolios, and the competitive landscape. Now, to help in these actions, there is a very effective tool originally introduced by 3M Corporation in 2007 that I would like to share with you, and I call it RWW. That is, for R, which stands for real, the leader asks, is the product we're considering real? And is the market we're considering real? If the answer is yes, go to the second filter, W, which stands for win. The leader asks, can we win? That is, can we beat our competitors? And do we have the necessary infrastructure for a sustained competitive advantage? If the answer is yes, go to the third filter, W, which stands for worth it. The leader asks, is it worth it? That is, will this product or service significantly move our product revenue needle? If the answer is yes, move forward. Now, these are a few reasons why business acumen is so important to effective leadership. Finally, leaders must demonstrate a high level of emotional intelligence, or EI. There are many excellent books and articles that address the definition and practice of EI. The work of Daniel Goleman is particularly noteworthy. Now, I will summarize those components of EI that are most important for strong leadership. There are 5 of them, and they are, first, self-awareness. This is knowing one's strengths, weaknesses, and values, and one's impact on others. Self-aware leaders are self-confident. They're able to self-assess realistically and will accept constructive criticism. Here, a little humility goes a long way. Second, self-regulation. This is the ability to control or redirect disruptive tendencies. Leaders that can self-regulate are comfortable with ambiguity and change, are trustworthy, and consistently exhibit integrity. Motivation, number 3. This is about being driven to achieve for the sake of achievement. Motivated leaders exhibit optimism in the face of failure, are persistent in improving their performance, and show a passion for their work and new challenges. Number 4, empathy. This is about considering others' feelings, especially when making decisions. Empathetic leaders attract and retain top-notch talent. They have the ability to develop others and are sensitive to cross-cultural differences. And finally, number 5, social skill. This includes the ability to manage relationships to guide people in desired directions. Leaders with social skills are effective in leading change. They're skilled in building and leading teams and usually have extensive networks. So here are a few key takeaways from my remarks so far. 1, in addition to technical and business acumen, great leadership requires a high level of EI, emotional intelligence. And I encourage you to assess your current EI level, perhaps on a scale of, say, 1 to 5 for each of the 5 key components. Then develop a personal plan to improve those components that require attention. 2, as you enhance your EI, you should be able to better evolve into the leader you are meant to be. And 3, please note that the traits and characteristics of leadership in an era of ambiguity that I have presented so far represent a high bar and should be viewed as continuous improvement goals for you and or the people you put in leadership positions. Let's now consider a view of the status quo and a framework for several specific leadership actions that one can employ now and in the future. Some of you may know that in the Chinese language, the character for the word crisis is made up of 2 characters that represent threat and opportunity. Now, COVID-19, by any definition, has put the world in crisis. People are suffering everywhere, Left is right, up is down. Reliable information can be hard to find. Empathy is scarce. Ambiguity surrounds us, and the list goes on. This is the threat part of a crisis that we are all dealing with. This is the time when leaders among us need to rise to the occasion and bring stability, compassion, and empathy to our teams and colleagues. Also, this is the time to focus on the other part of crisis, namely opportunity as we look ahead. Start by asking, what have we learned in the last 9 months? I assert we have learned that many things have changed and will evolve in different directions in the years ahead. In other words, COVID-19 is giving us a glimpse into the future. Some of the things that have changed include the emergence of the virtual workplace, increased reliance on telemedicine, a strong shift from brick and mortar retail to e-commerce, the practicality and the convenience of remote education at the university level, the streamlining and popularity of, say, takeout food and beverages, to name a few. So what has changed in the iGaming industry? This is the question that leaders in your industry must address, perhaps by applying some of the leadership traits presented today. And so let me offer a specific framework and some additional guidelines for leadership in an era of ambiguity, such as we face today. So to more effectively lead your group, here are 4 specific suggestions. First, develop clear goals and objectives with your people and assign accountability. This action will minimize ambiguity and can be a highly motivating experience. Include stretch goals and emphasize innovation. 2, communicate, motivate, inspire. That is, consistently communicate with your team, virtually and in person when it's safe to do so. This is all about transparency. Bring clarity and stability through truthful communication. And as your communication skills improve and evolve, as a leader, you can use your communication skills to motivate people and eventually to inspire them. Observe great communicators in business or in government, in universities, on the sports field, with friends and family, and emulate those communication skills that resonate with you. Third, get out of the way. Don't micromanage. Micromanaging is one of the fastest ways to drive top talent out of an organization. Give your people the latitude to experiment and sometimes to fail, and let them know that you are always available to consult with them as needed. And finally, number 4, invest in your people. Now, by investing in your people, I don't mean to just give raises, bonuses, promotions. These actions are the table stakes to retain your top talent. As a leader, acknowledge a job well done, privately or publicly, as appropriate. There are many ways for a leader to show you care, especially by investing in those components of emotional intelligence that best meet the needs of your group. So, in conclusion, moving forward, you can expect that the only thing that will be constant is change. As leaders, embrace it. Use change to shape your future. Be the steamroller and not the highway. Challenge the status quo. Take reasonable risks and learn from your mistakes. Do everything you can to create an environment where people can realize their full potential. In your leadership role, up and down the organization, model the behaviors mentioned in this discussion. In short, shape your own future and don't let anyone else shape it for you. I would be happy to dialogue with anyone to amplify any of the thoughts expressed in this fireside chat over a Zoom meeting or other means of communication. Feel free to contact me. And in the meantime, good luck in your business and in your quest to become a better leader in this area, an era of ambiguity. And thanks so very much for your attention. I really appreciate it.